Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Oh, we could be better than that, right? Here we go. Ready? Wait. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Okay, Zoomers. Shabbat shalom. We can't hear them, but we see them smiling a little bit over there. Welcome. Welcome to Temple Emmanuel. Welcome to Shabbat. Welcome to Gracie's bat mitzvah. You see Gracie here standing next to me. She's going to become a bat mitzvah. And we were just talking earlier that this is one of those things that every kid hates. Oh, I've known you since you were like this tall, which is true. And the fact is she looks absolutely no different than she did when she was 3 and 4 years old. It's true. Maybe a little bit, but not much. But it's very exciting because when anyone becomes a bar bat mitzvah, you know, in traditional Judaism, we like to say that they're becoming a man or becoming a woman. I don't believe that. I believe today is a celebration of her childhood and reaching this point in her life and the work that she put into today and the work that she's put into her whole life in educating herself and figuring out what it's like to be a human being in the world. And today, as she stands in front of us and is going to lead us in prayer, is going to read from Torah, is going to teach us what's in the Torah portion. In that way, you're showing us you're ready to become like a more responsible person in our society. And so we celebrate you, and we celebrate all of you who have raised this person to become this amazing individual that's standing in front of us today. That's what we're really here to do, is to celebrate the raising of a child. So we've all just kind of come in from the outer world. Everyone is sitting in front of their computers or whatever with some strange backgrounds to take away the fact that their room might be a mess and they don't want us to see what's behind them. But the best thing to do is to come into this space, even if it's virtually, and to kind of center ourselves. And so we'll do that through some singing. I'd like to invite Cantor Weiss. By the way, I'm Rabbi Jonathan Aaron, Cantor Lizzie Weiss. And welcome, and let's sing a little bit.
We're going to sing Hine Matov U'Manayim. How wonderful it is to be together. Gracie, feel free to sing with me. Hine Matov U'Manayim.
Okay, so we're about ready to get started, and the first thing we're going to do is a little bit of a ceremony to welcome Gracie into our community, and that is from receiving her talit. Really what she's getting are the fringes that are in the four corners of the garment. If you take a look at the talit, if you're wearing one in these fringes, there are special ties and twists, and all of these tzitzit remind us of the commandments that are in the Torah. So when one puts on a talit for the first time, it's as if you're saying, Gracie, I'm ready to at least, try to live my life with those values that are contained in the Torah, even though we have some difficult things in this Torah portion this week. You know, those values that we grow up with and that we keep as a part of our lives to just live as better people. You're committing to do that by putting on this talit. So, Bruce and Stephanie, would you please come up and present Gracie with her talit? You're good without. You're good without.
And for everybody here, underneath your chairs, there are 2 books. Grab the thinner one. It says Shabbat on it. If you are at home, I think there might be a link, or we will put a link in. If you Google CCAR Shabbat book, it will come up.
Okay. Okay. May you live to see your dreams fulfilled.
May your destiny be for worlds still to come, and may you trust in generations past and yet to be.
May your heart be filled with intuition and your words be filled with insight.
May songs of praise ever be upon your tongue, and your vision be on a straight path before you.
May your eyes shine with the light of holy words and your face reflect the brightness of the heavens.
May your lips ever speak wisdom, and your fulfillment be in righteousness.
A Jewish home opens its heart, a child is born, and its link to generations is proclaimed.
Today, our child, nearly grown, is called to read from the Torah and is welcomed into the congregation.
May this moment be blessed.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav lehitatev b'tzitzit.
Amen.
Amen.
Let's fix her talit, though. Yeah, there you go. All right. Gracie. Good grab my yarn. This, it's Gracie. There you go. Remember, you want to look at, hold that down. All right. When I sit down, you can do, wait for the plane.
How wonderful it is to see my family here with me today and so many more family and friends on Zoom. Please join me as we sing Ma Tovu on page 74. Ma Tovu, oh We continue now with a prayer of thanks for our rested and renewed souls after a good night's sleep. Please turn to page 78 for Elohai Neshama. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Teorahi. Elohai, Elohai, Neshama, Shenatata bi Teorahi. Ata berata, ata yetzarta, ata nevafta bi. Ve'ata meshamra, meshamra vekirbi. continue with morning blessings. Nisim B'chol Yom on page 18. Please join me in English. Please rise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has given the mind the ability to distinguish day from night. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who opens the eyes of the blind. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who frees the captive. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who lifts up the fallen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who stretches the earth over the waters. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who strengthens our steps. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who clothes the naked. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who gives strength to the weary. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who removes sleep from the eyes, slumber from the eyelids. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me in the image of God. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me free. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who has made me a Jew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who girds Israel with strength. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, who crowns Israel with glory. We continue with the blessing for Torah study on page 88.
Please be seated.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. We continue with Hatzi Kaddish on page 90. Yitgadol ve'yitkadash Shemei Rabbah. Ve'alma divra hirute ve'amlich malhute ve'hayehon yom echon ufaydecho beit Yisrael ba'agala uvizman karim ve'imeru amen yehi shmei rabba mevora le'alem lo me'almaya yitbara ve'yishtaba ve'yitpa'ar ve'yitromam ve'yitnase ve'yitadar ve'yitale ve'yitalal Shemei dekudesho brihu le'elamin kol birhata ve'shirata tushvehata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma ve'imeru amen. Please rise for our call to prayer, the Baruch on page 108.
La la
seated. We now continue with Yotzer Or on page 110. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvorei Yoshe Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Yotzer or uvorei Yoshe Oseh shalom uvorei et hakol. We can now continue with Shema on page 114. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. We now continue on page 116 with Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha Be'hol levavha uve'hol nafsheha uve'hol meodecha ve'hayu advarim ha'eleh asher anohi metzaveha hayom al levaveha veshinantam levaneha vedibarta bam beshivteha beveteha uvlecheha vadere ushocheha uvkumeha uvshartam leot al yadeha Vehayu letotafot bein eineha uvtavtam al mezuzot beiteha uvisharecha leman tizkeru ve'asitem et kol mitzvotai vihitem kedoshim Lelohem Ani Adonai Elohem Asher hotzei etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim lilot lahem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohem.
Adonai Elohim Emet.
We sing our song of freedom, Miha Moha, on page 122. Miha Moha, Vayolim Adonai, Miha Moha, Nedar Bakodesh, Torah Tehilot, O Sefele, Norah Tehilot, Leshim ha asfat hayam Yahad kulam hodu vehivlehu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Sor Yisrael Ula be'ezrat Yisrael Uvdeinu mecha Yehuda We rise for the Amidah on page 124.
Yeah, please do.
Adonai תפתח וביגי תהילתך. אדוני שפתי תפתח וביגי תהילתך. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו, אלוהי אברהם, אלוהי יצחק, ואלוהי יעקב, אלוהי שרה, אלוהי רבקה, אלוהי רחל, ואלוהי לאה, האל הגדול, הגיבור והנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוהר השתי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו ואהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיח ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה, רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מהוקל חיים והסר, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברוחי חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיע ישוע, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני בחיי הכל.
We continue with the Kedusha on page 130. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר, קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו, אדוני אדוננו, מדיר שמך בכל הארץ. ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, אבינו מלכנו, ומושיענו וישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, מלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גדולך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור, נגיד גדולך. ולנצח נצחים, ולנצח נצחים, קדושתך נקדיש, ושמך האלוהינו, מפינו לא ימוש לעולם
with the remainder of the Amidah through page 122, using the words on the page or the prayers in your heart. When you are finished, you may be seated. Please join me for Oseh Shalom on page 142. I would like to invite Theo to join me. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimrama, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimroma, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Me?
We have reached the central part of what we're doing here today is our Torah service, where Gracie is going to read from Torah and teach us from it. We have an interesting Torah portion today. When I was in rabbinical school, my first year in rabbinical school, we had a major test at the end of the year, which we called the terms test. You know, and everyone's cramming for this test, and it wasn't as hard as I'm making it sound. You know, like there were questions like, "What's Rosh Hashanah?" You know what I mean? Stuff like that. But you had to cite in the Torah where it comes from, right? So you actually did have to do some research, and we didn't have the internet in those days, if you can believe that, Gracie. There was a time where there was no internet. Yeah. But the thing was, almost half the questions were found in this Torah portion. Because Emor, beginning chapter 21, has a lot of the holidays that we celebrate. And it gets you to think about how we mark time. Because what did the Israelites do was they said, we had this formative event that happened to all of our people, and we're going to mark time so that we remember it. That's why on Passover we talk about coming out of Egypt. Because we need to remember what happened to our people, and so we mark it with occasions that remind us of what's happened in our lives. You can think about that even more in Judaism, how good we are at doing this. That's what Yartzeit all about. Yartzeit is marking time that takes you to a person that was in your life and an important part of it. And so just think about for a moment those personal kind of time markers that you have in your life. And I would like to say, I was talking with my parents the other day who told me that their parents lived through the Spanish flu, never spoke to them about it. Right? They were like, my grandparents were like 19, 20 years old in about 1920, never talked to their kids about the Spanish flu. And I keep thinking of this pandemic. Really kind of important time in all of our lives. But go beyond that a little bit and think about your own personal lives, the things that have happened to you, and then ask yourself, how do I mark those times? How do I make it so that I always remember what happened to me at a particular time in my life so that I can recall joy and with gratitude, so that maybe I can and feel that something pained me that I might need to feel a little bit of that pain each year so that I'm reminded of the meaning of it in my life. And this Torah portion, whenever it comes around every year, I always think of this idea of marking time, because life is short, and if we don't mark the things that have happened to us, then it just kind of escapes from our lives. And it feels to me like we can be a little bit rudderless if we're not grounding ourselves in the important moments that we celebrate. Today's one of those moments. Right? I have people all the time that come up to me and say, do you know Rabbi Cohen from Wichita? And I'm like, no, he did my bat mitzvah, you know. Everyone remembers where they were at their bar bat mitzvah, who the rabbi was. They usually don't remember the cantor, but most of the time, no, they always remember the cantor as well. But you know, it's this stuff where these things stay with us, so let's mark them. Don't worry, yeah, exactly. I'm like, Rabbi who? But this is about marking time. So let's continue to mark today by bringing ourselves to that moment where we actually will read Torah. It's page 244 in the Siddur. But I'd like to call some people up. First of all, Stephanie and Bruce. Are we doing that over here? Is this the area? If you would all come up. Gracie, come on up. We're going to line up right here. And I would like to invite Ron and Theo Maas to come and open the ark for us. All right, I'll tell you when, okay? The cue to rise is when I'm going to have them open the ark.
Ein kamocha Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kemaasecha, malechutecha malchut kol amim, umemshaltecha bechol dor v'ador. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch leolam moed, Adonai oz leomo yitein, Adonai yevarech et tamo v'shalom, av harachamim, heitiv avitzoncha et Zion, tivne chomot Yerushalayim, tivne chomot Yerushalayim, ki
in this scroll is the secret of our people's life from Sinai until now. Its teaching is love and justice, goodness and hope. Freedom is its gift to all who treasure it.
Ki mitzion teitzei Torah, ki mitzion teitzei Torah, udvar Adonai mirushalayim.
In the book of Nehemiah, in chapter 9, there's this wonderful description of Ezra, who had returned to Jerusalem in about 530 BCE. That's a long time ago. And he brought back Israelite religion to Jerusalem, but he added something. It wasn't just a sacrificial cult when Ezra came back. He added a public reading of a scroll. And so one might say that what we're doing now directly goes back to 530 BCE. So that's 6 divided by 7 times pi. It's 2,500 years, Gracie. Over 2,000 years, people have been taking a scroll into public and reading from it, just as you're going to do right now. It's an incredibly long chain of tradition that started in Jerusalem at that time. You're just the next in this chain. You're like a link in that chain. And the chain's only as strong as each one of the links. And we know, after listening to you chant all of your prayers and the confidence that you had in doing that, we know that you are one of those links that's going to remain strong throughout your life, and that the strength of you as a human being is going to keep this chain. So what we're going to do, we're going to pass it down from generation to generation, because that's the only way it gets passed down, is when each generation says, okay, I'm bringing this to my children, and they're going to carry it on as well. So we're literally going to pass it from your mom to your dad to you. And as it enters into your arms, we hope it kind of like seeps into you and becomes a part of who you are. You can just pass it. As Gracie takes the Torah into her arms, we are grateful for this moment. We're talking about marking time. This is the prayer that says, I mark this moment as a really important one in my life. We sing together the Shechianu blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu vekimanu vehigianu lazman hazeh.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Gadlul Adonai iti, uneromemo Shemo yachdav. Lecha Adonai hagedula, vehagivura, vehatiferet, vehanetzach, vechachod. Ki chol bashamayim uvaretz, ki chol bashamayim uvaretz. Lecha Adonai hamamlacha, ve'amid na'aseh lechol lerosh.
You may be seated.
Okay, as has been mentioned, we're reading from the Torah portion and more. It is found on page 912. If you'd like to follow the reading, we have Torahs here underneath it. Well, that's the Siddur you have there. It actually says on it the Torah. That's how you know. There we go. If you're at home, it is chapter 21 of Leviticus, if you'd like to look it up online.
We're going to sing, right, Rabbi Aaron?
We are going to sing as people, we're going to call some of you up to do the Aliyah. There's not a lot of room up
They're
here.
going to have to kind of stand
Yeah,
on that
I think
ledge.
you can kind of come in this little area here. I'll move out of the area for all of you that are going to be coming up. Amod. Aliyah Rishon, Suzanne Petruski, Pamela Mass, Ronald Mass, Theo Mass, Mark Mishakau, Barbara Fain, Paula Mishakau, Beverly Goldner, Jill Goldner, and Matthew Goldner.
Eilech Hamda Libi, Bechusona ve'al Titalev. Eilech Hamda. Bechusona ve'al Titalev.
This particular one is.
I'm going to try and go back as opposed to. That's okay.
You guys ready?
Okay. Here we go. Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Amen. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe, Emor el HaKohanim, Bnei Aharon, Ve'amarta Eleihem, Lenefesh lo yitama ve'amav, Ki im lishero HaKarov elav, Le'imo ulaviv, Ve'livno vito lahim, Vela ahoto habetula hakerova elav asher lo haita leish la yitama.
Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3.
Amen.
Okay, you can give Eric kisses.
Let's keep one back.
Let's keep one person to stand over here on this side representing everybody.
We're going to take the masked grandmother.
Okay, you can all be seated.
I did. I will.
Hey Amod, Baruch ben Natan Miriam.
Sisu et Yerushalayim Giluva, Giluva kol havet. Sisu et Yerushalayim Giluva, Giluva kol havet.
All right.
All right, you can touch on your dad.
Right there. Go.
Baruch Adonai Havarach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et torto. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Lo yitama ba'al be'amam yehalo. Lo yigrehu korha berosham. Ufe'at zekanam lo yikahu Uviv saram, lo yisretu saratet, kedoshim yiyu lelohem, velo yahalelu shem Elohem, ki et ishe Adonai lechem Elohem,
Hem makrivim v'hayu kodesh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayolam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. You can, let's see, maybe switch places with Bruce.
We switch places now. If you go stand on that side.
Bruce, you can hold that. We're gonna do Misha Bera.
Bruce, you might want to, you can go. Let's see.
We're gonna see Misha Bera. Let's see.
Before,
You know it.
when the Torah's out,
First, we're gonna do Misha Bera.
we'd like to do a special blessing for those people that are in need of healing. In the Siddur, it's on page 253. There's two parts to this blessing. First part is for us, really, so that we can have the strength and go and be with the people that we love that are in need. And then I'll kind of go like this through, like that, and please call out loud the names of people that are on your mind and in your hearts today, because they are in need of healing. If you'd like to on the Zoom also say the names out loud to yourself so that the energy of that person is with you. And then we'll join together in the second half of the blessing, and we'll join our energies towards that healing in the prayer. Misha Berach.
Of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen.
Warren Roston and Bruce Corwin.
Andrew House.
תעמוד שולמית בת שרה ודור.
Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai, Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Chai.
I will leave.
Yeah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu michol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Isha zona v'halala lo yikahu ve'isha gerusha me'isha lo yikahu yikadoshu le'elohim ve'kidoshto ki et lechem Elohecha u'makriv kadosh yehla ki kadosh ani Adonai mekadishem uvat ish kohen ki tehel liznot et aviha hi mechalelet ba'esh tizareh.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'haye olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
We've now reached the maftir. The maftir are usually
Hold on, I gotta get through. Watch
the maftir. The maftir are usually the last 3 verses of the Torah portion. Sometimes it's 5 verses, but this is what's left for the bat mitzvah or bar mitzvah. These last verses. This is that moment. So I see you're all awake. I don't need anyone to wake anybody up. Make sure you're paying attention to this. This is that moment that we've all been waiting for. If you want to follow the maftir, it's on page 938 in the Torah books. Tamod ha-maftir Leah bat Shulamit uVaruch habat mitzvah.
Evenu shalom alayich, Evenu shalom alayich, Evenu shalom alayich, Evenu shalom, shalom, shalom alayich. All right, you get to the blessings.
Barechu et Adonai Hamborah.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamborach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher bahar banu michol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Umake vehema yeshalamena, umake adam yumat, mishpat echad yeh lahem, kager ka'ezra yeh, ki ani Adonai Elohem. Vayadaber Moshe el bnei Yisrael, vayotziu et hamekalel, el mihutz lemahaneh, vayirgemu oto aven, uvnei Yisrael asu ka'asher tziva Adonai et Moshe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'hayei olam nata betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Say Yasher Koach.
Yasher Koach.
And because that means all strength to you. Everyone gains strength from reading the Torah. And let's give her we'll give her a big mazel tov later.
No, not yet, not yet. No, hold on.
It's very important to her.
Yes, but not yet.
Oh, not yet? Okay,
After the
sorry.
Haftarah.
Just a tiny mazel tov now, a little one.
Mazel tov.
We'll get to the bigger one after the Haftarah. Then
Oh.
you can pelt her with candy all you want. All right. Ya'amdu Magbiava Golelim. I'd like to invite Mark Meshikow and Barbara Fain and Paula Meshikow, if you'd all please come up to lift the Torah and to dress it. Please rise.
Let's have
Okay,
sit here. Come,
so
come,
this
move
one
over
makes
that
it
way a little.
easy. Push down like this. You can't lean against this. I know it is easy, but you do want to push down like this, so you don't hurt your wrists. That's about. Okay. And then close it, and then you're gonna lift it up. Open like this. Yeah, that's good.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על התורה ועל העבודה ועל גמילות חסדים, על שלושה דברים, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד, על שלושה דברים העולם עומד. When they sit down, you do this and then remember right into that. Slower is better.
Shabbat Shalom. My Torah portion, Amor, found in the book of Leviticus, is about the standards of Jewish ritual purity. Ritual purity is the state an Israelite priest had to maintain to participate in sacred rituals. For example, a priest can be made ritually impure by being close to a dead body, unless it is the body of their immediate relative, marrying a divorced woman, shaving the side locks of his head, or can he even be defiled by the actions of his own daughter, who will then be killed with fire. These are very strange rules. What's wrong with making a fashion statement by shaving the side locks of your head? Also, why should someone be punished for the actions of someone else? Just because two people are related doesn't mean they are the same. Thinking that death could rub off on someone near a dead body is also ridiculous. So what is ritual purity all about? The ancient Israelites believed that priests had contact with God. Therefore, they had to maintain a high level of perfection to communicate with God. These rules that seem strange to us today were required to help priests maintain that level of perfection. Ancient Israelites saw the world differently thousands of years ago than we do today. Those rules did not seem strange to them. As society has changed, these rules have not been updated to fit modernity. If these were the rules you had to follow to connect with God in the time of the ancient Israelites, what are the rules now? What can prevent our ability to connect with God? I think that people who connect with God should be positive representations of humanity and not do things that hurt others purposely. I feel that the Torah's ideas of what one can do to maintain or lose ritual purity don't apply to modern-day life. But still today, Jewish people should cater to certain standards to connect with God in a meaningful way. The reason for this is because anyone who communicates with God should be the best representation of humanity. These people should be generous, kind, empathetic, selfless, and responsible. But unlike ancient Israelite priests, I believe that people don't have to be perfect to communicate with God. In fact, someone who communicates with God should be able to recognize and admit when they're wrong. In my opinion, ritual purity standards should be adjusted as society progresses and new norms take the place of old ones. To me, the idea of God is a moral compass with a set of rules that I can align my actions with to see if what I'm doing is right. In order to be ritually pure and be able to connect with a moral compass, you must be the type of person who wants to improve their actions and understands why you should improve behavior that is detrimental to others. An example of modern-day ritual purity is something that we've all probably done on some level. For example, we've all probably run into a friend or acquaintance after we've had a bad day. Because of our bad mood, We probably didn't treat them with the kindness they deserve. This is an example of not being ritually pure. However, a way to regain our ritual purity would be to call them and apologize, explaining the reason we were impolite to them and trying not to make the mistake again. This act of recognizing that we are not perfect and taking responsibility for our actions connects us to our moral compass, and therefore this action makes us ritually pure. When I was first introduced to Jewish laws in my Torah portion, I didn't take into consideration that these rules made sense long ago. Instead, I was upset that as Jews we blindly followed rules just because they've been around so long. It didn't matter what we thought or what was the right thing to do for us. It was just something that we had been taught not to question. As I started to adapt these rules to modern life, I realized that they can have a reason and even be inspiring. Becoming a bat mitzvah to me means trying to understand Judaism and finding ways to update it when necessary instead of just following or rejecting it because I don't understand or agree with the rules. May we all find ways to adapt Judaism so it makes sense to us and applies to the era we live in. May we all become ritually pure by correcting our mistakes so that we can connect with God. May we all be brave enough to question concepts that have been taught to us if we don't agree with them, so that they become meaningful to us. Shabbat Shalom. Please join me as I chant the Haftorah for Parashat Emor. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'rata v'divrehem hane'emarim ha'emet Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'Torah u'v'Moshe avdo u'v'Yisrael amo u'v'nvi'ei ha'emet v'tzedek v'hakohanim ha'levi'im b'nei tzadok asher shavru et mishmeret mikdashim v'tot b'nei Israel me'alai hema yikrevu elai lesharteni ve'amdu lefanai lehakriv li elevadam ne'um Adonai Elohim hema yavo el mikdashi vehema yikrevu el shulhani lesharteni veshamru et mishmarti vehaya vevoam el sha'arei echatzer hapenimit igdei vishtim yilbashu velo ya'alei aleihem temer beshartam besha'arei echatzer hapenimit vavaita ha'arei vishtim ihu arosham umifnesei vishtim ihu amanehem lo yageru ayazah Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tzur kol haolamim tadik bechol hadorot ha'el hane'eman haomer ve'oseh hamdaber kayem shechol devarav emet v'tzedek al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnuha lecha avod ultifaren al hakol. Adonai Eloheinu, anachnu modim la, harhim hoda, yitbarashim habeviko hai, tamid leolam va'ed, baruch atah Adonai. Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. We're going to wait for everybody to get their candy, and you're going to throw it very softly in a parabola shape, but not till we sing.
Now.
Seven tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, seven tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, seven tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, seven tov. Yehei lanu, yehei lanu, yehei lanu, ulechol Yisrael. Yehei lanu, ulechol Yisrael. Seven tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and seven tov. Seven tov and mazel tov, mazel tov and seven tov. Seven tov and mazel tov and mazel tov and seven tov. Yehei lanu.
Now let's give her a big mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
Let's hear that on Zoom.
Mazel tov.
All right. Could you guys help us clean up some of this candy?
Come on, Gracie,
We
pick up your
can't clean
favorite
it all
one.
up at the same time. Anyone who'd like to have some candy, yeah. Here you go. Well, people usually eat them, so.
Not yet, not yet.
Before we return the Torah to the Ark, I'd like to invite Suzanne Petruski and Pamela Mass to come up to read two blessings, one for Israel and one for our country. We're on page 258 and 259.
Who's doing Israel?
On Israel.
Okay, you
At
can go
first?
first.
Okay. Is there a bigger
I want to make
version?
sure you're in front of, here, let me find it.
Oh, here, I can do. I can see it, but it's not great.
I can't see.
Prayer for the state of Israel. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen.
Amen. For our country, thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing, and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you so much. Pamela, stay up here. Now to open our ark, I'd like to invite Jill, Matthew, and Beverly Goldner. And Ron, if you'd come up to return the Torah to the ark with Pamela. That's what you guys can do that together. Thank you. Please rise.
כי לקח טוב נתתי להם תורתי,
Okay.
אל תעזובו. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה, ותומכך מאושר. דרכך דרכי נועם, בכל נתיבותיך שלום. השיבנו אדוני אליך ונשובה. חדש חדש ימינו, חדש ימינו כקדם. We're going to bless you and go stand at the Torah. יברכך אדוני וישמרך.
May God bless you and protect you.
יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחונך.
May God's face shine on you, and may God be good to you.
יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
May God's presence be with you, and may you receive a gift we all need, a gift of wholeness, a gift of peace. And we say,
Amen.
Amen.
I would like to thank my family and friends from near and far who took the time to be with me on Zoom today. I hope you will be able to join me at my in-person party in August so that we can celebrate and dance together. Thank you so very much to Shelley Kamara for her patience and tenacity in preparing me for today. To Karen Parper for her extreme organizational skill in keeping me on track and navigating the complexities of a Zoom bat mitzvah with grace and warmth. To Rabbi Sarah Bassin for teaching us compassion and caring about so many causes worldwide, and for her assistance and encouragement with my bat mitzvah project of putting an end to cruel animal testing practices. To Rabbi Adam Lutz for his gentleness, wisdom, and guiding me towards a deep understanding of my parsha. To Cantor Lizzie Weiss for sharing her love of music with me, skillfully preparing me for this day and seeing something musically special in me. To Rabbi Jonathan Aaron for his guidance and vast knowledge of so many subjects, but most of all, for his amazing sense of humor, which puts me at ease and instills my love of religion. To Grandma, I love you so much, and you are a second mother to me. You are always there for me and have been my whole life. You are sweetness, intelligence, beauty, and devotion all wrapped up in one small package. Aunt Pam, thank you for being my very cool aunt who takes me on adventures and with whom I feel comfortable sharing secrets I might not want to tell my mom. Thank you to my mom, Stephanie, and to my dad, Bruce, for loving me the past 13 years, guiding me, believing in me, and helping me build a solid foundation of values and ethics that will last a lifetime. I am so grateful to everyone in my life who contributed to this day.
Okay. My speech is titled My Wondrous Gracie. Okay. And Gracie told me not to embarrass her, but I'm sorry if I do. Okay. Gracie, baby G, and G-ster, love of our lives. When you were about to be born, I remember saying to Dad, I don't care if she's at the top of her class, becomes rich and famous, or is a beauty queen, but I pray and do care that she is sweet. While I knew the name Gracie from George Burns' famous Say Goodnight, Gracie, and I thought it was a timeless and adorable name, it meant something more to me. The dictionary definition of grace from which your name is derived is, as a noun, elegance or beauty of manner or action, and as a verb, to lend or add grace. I knew by your manner and everything about you, even as a baby, that you embodied both the noun and verb definition of grace, and I no longer worried about sweetness because I knew that quality was a sure thing with you. As you grew and I got to know you on a deeper level, the predominant trait I observed in your nature was profound curiosity. When you learned to crawl, you would scoop from room to room, pointing your tiny finger at everything and repeating your first words as you did so. What's that? This, of course, was about objects. Your curiosity about everything was so vast I couldn't keep up with the what's that's. We dubbed you the examiner, and got endless joy out of watching you examine every object. Your face lit up with such wonder and intensity as if you were trying to unlock its very essence. As you got older and your worldview evolved from the concrete to the abstract, you became increasingly curious about people. When Dad or I would prop you up on the couch and read you a book, instead of staring into space or falling asleep, you would lean forward, tilt your head upward, and stare intently at our faces as we read, as if trying to figure out how the book was affecting us. It was hilarious at the time, but now I understand it more. You like to know what makes others tick, what makes other people happy, and how you can learn from them.
When I'd walk around the neighborhood with you in your stroller, you'd stare up at my face as if trying to figure out every feeling and thought I had. You would look intently into the eyes of passersby who took a peek at our adorable little girl. Several of these passerbyers remarked to me, "That baby is an old soul, and she has intelligent eyes." Even though in education I had learned about Piaget's theory that children do not have empathy or fully understand that others have a point of view different from her or his own until they're about 7, this was not true with you. Your interest in things and people outside yourself enabled you to develop a deep sense of empathy almost from the beginning. You had a deep ability to introspect, an innate curiosity about how others felt, and a deep curiosity about the inner world of those around you and the outer world of endless fascinations. You are a voracious reader and have an uncanny understanding of and interpretation of the characters in the books you read. You learn a lot about life this way. Your curiosity allows you to explore and excel in many other subjects too, including science, math, and engineering, which in your case is more crafting and inventing. I have never had to ask you to do your homework during your school career thus far. You are a self-starter who has innate motivation, which I believe is also connected with curiosity. You do not complete your studies in a perfunctory manner. Rather, your hard work emanates from a love of learning and a desire to experience the world. To come full circle, once I was assured of your overarching sweetness, I learned through watching you the second quality that I should have wished for and certainly got. An intensely curious child who is motivated to learn all about the world, people, ideas, and concepts I can't quite even fathom now, being a Gen Xer myself. The quality is worldliness, and it is one that will take you far and on many adventures. While you are sweet, beautiful, have a wicked sense of humor, and get wonderful grades, it is your curiosity and worldliness that defines you. For your biography book report in 4th grade, you chose Eleanor Roosevelt. One of her famous quotes really appealed to you even then. Great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, small minds discuss people. While you do care about people, what motivates them, and how they feel, I will say that I think Eleanor would have classified you as a great mind. You inspire me, challenge me, help me as a friend while remaining foremost a daughter who treats me with respect and honors my expectations. Eleanor Roosevelt also said, "Life must be lived and curiosity kept alive." Your curiosity will serve you well in your relationships, studies, and chosen career, which at the moment is to be a doctor and run a pet shelter. I never will have to teach you to show interest in other people and their ideas and feelings because you naturally do. Today you are on your way to being a Jewish adult. The Jewish world and world at large is extraordinarily lucky to have you in it. An anonymous thinker said, "Blessed are the curious, for they shall have adventures." I look forward to nothing more than to see the adventure of your life unfold, and I am blessed to have you as a daughter. I love you.
The beauty of your chanting was overwhelming. Connecting ideas, that is Gracie. The first connection you articulated started when you first started to talk. You figured out and then repeated, "Bruce is Daddy, Daddy is Bruce." Do you remember? Then, still early in your talking career, you cleverly made a connection with bad news, coming up with your own innovative phrase. Cavity to that. You have a total love for the life of animals, connecting the importance and protection of life for all living things, and signing up and donating your allowance to the animal rights organization, PETA, at a very early age, and being an advocate for the lives of all animals. So you see the interest that Gracie has for the well-being of animals described in her bat mitzvah project was a connection that she made when she was little. You continue making connections with a sophisticated understanding of human behavior well beyond your years. You can see all that from your speech today, but I want to share one story. One night, while we were scootering through the sidewalks of Beverly Hills, I received a call from my HR department seeking advice on an employee situation. I thought it might be a good learning experience for you to hear about a real-world situation. So I told you about it. After a few minutes, you put together a keen and quick analysis of the interpersonal dynamics far faster and more accurately than I had. I was both impressed and proud. We loved talking together about complex issues such as Lincoln's strategy during the Civil War, the Rockefellers and income inequality, and the political roots of Social Security, and connecting ideas about doing something that seems not in one's interest, but actually is if taking the long view. I thoroughly enjoy our discussions together, and I'm very proud of how you can connect far-ranging ideas. And with a great sense of humor, we named 4 drawers in our kitchen: far left, center right, and far right, after key senators. You also are not one to shy away from trying new things or being out of your comfort zone. I really respect you for that. For example, attempting to start a math tutoring business, designing and putting up signs on Beverly Drive, and creating a webpage. More recently, watching 2 very scary movies that I would never watch if you had not been next to me. Gracie, my wish for you is to continue growing your understanding of Jewish values and the invaluable and special lessons our people have learned over thousands of years and shared with each new generation. One thing I will not say about your bat mitzvah performance today is cavity to that. Good job, Gracie. Well done. I'm very proud of you for today and for every day, for all you do, for all you have accomplished, and for the person you are. Love you, sweetie.
Hey. First of all, you can't say that you watched 2 scary movies and then not tell us what the movies are.
We didn't finish this. Well,
Just give me a title. Give me one.
The Conjuring.
I never saw that. Couldn't just take the first one. All right. Congratulations, Gracie. I have some gifts for you. First of all, and we need some oohs and ahs on this, we have a very beautiful certificate. Let's have some ooh. Ah. This actually is unique to Temple Emmanuel. These are ours, and you can take a look. There's a lot of interesting detail on this. This is to prove to you that what you accomplished today. I was using this one, that's why. So this is for you to show that you did this, right? There's your name, even your Torah portion, and the date and everything. Here we have a gift for you. You can open this later. It's not a car, but hopefully you can use this at joyous occasions throughout your life. We also have, if you'd like to take a trip to Israel, we have 2 things for that. One is a $250 gift certificate if you want to do one of the Reform Movement's trips. And then this book called Israel Matters that can tell you a lot about why it's so important to tie yourself to Israel as a Jewish person in the world. And so these are your gifts from the congregation, and I think we can give her just like a golf clap for her congratulations. Okay, Zoomers. There we go. All right. Okay, let's move towards the end of our service. We're on page
282. Thank you so much.
282.
282.
Please rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gidula leotzer bereshit, shehu noteh shamayim v'yosed haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchina tuzo b'govhe meromim, hu Eloheinu einon, va'anachnu chorim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, Livnei melech, malachei hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, v'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai, lemelech
now to page 294 for Kaddish Yatom. This morning we especially remember Bernard Petruski and Nathan Langer and Mira Langer as we say together Kaddish Yatom. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach eretei v'yamlich malchutei, B'chayechonu v'yomechonu v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, B'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ul'olmei olmaya, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudesha, B'richu. Leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel. And we say, Amen. Amen. You may be seated. Mazal Tov, Gracie. Now you can dance to your heart's content to this final song, which is Vishamru. It says, talks about really our relationship with this time of the week, with Shabbat. And congratulations to all of you.
And we're going to ask everybody to hang on Zoom because you get to unmute yourself after Vishamru and talk to Gracie and family.
So just start to think about what you're going to say to Gracie.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam oti leolam Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. You can see it behind there. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen l'chaim.
L'chaim.
Take a sip.
You're not driving, right? Wow. That was
All
pretty
right.
good.
Let's reveal the challah.
What do we do with challah during this? Like,
You touch it if you want to touch it.
oh, temple challah. This is
Don't do
chocolate.
chocolate.
Look, there's chocolate in this challah.
Okay, let's wash our hands before we touch it. All right. All right, Gracie, you can put a hand on it.
Yeah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz b'tei avon.
You may take a little.
There you go. Whoa, look at that chocolate. I wish the cameras could see this chocolate.
Yeah. How was that?
Now
Is it
that you
good?
have chocolate, you get this microphone so that you can talk to people on the screen, right? Where do you want her? Over there.
Mazal tov to everybody.
Mazal tov. Gracie, go
Shabbat
stand there.
shalom.
Because anyone who wants to talk needs that mic right there. All right, are we on? Everyone can unmute themselves.
Hi, people on the screen.
Oh, it's working.
Hi. That's so sweet. Hi.
Anybody can come up and look.
Very good.
Sweet.
Mazel tov. Wait, why did I just say mazel tov? Thank you. Love you too.
Congratulations, Gracie.
Thank you.
We thought you were beautiful.
Thank you so much.
There you go. Mazel tov, Gracie. Your voice is so beautiful.
Thank you.
Remind me of one charismatic person myself.
Thank you so much.
Mazel tov, Gracie. The ceremony was beautiful and you did amazing.
Thank you.
I think you did better than I did, so just say what.
Leave it to you, Ollie.
Thank you so much. Yay! No. Thank you so much.
Mazel tov, great job.
Thank you so much, Natalie.
Okay, everyone, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Hi, Pam.
We're glad people are from the Bronx because it's like a little bit of my dad here.
That's right. Bernie was from the Bronx.
He would have been so proud today.
Hi, Nolan and Oliver.
As would Bruce's parents. They'd be.
Oh, there's Lauren.
Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. Hi, Aaron.
You're amazing. We love you.
Hi, Al.
Is that Al Matt?
Yeah, hi, Al.
Hi, Al.
Hi, Ollie. Hi, Janie and Amy.
Okay, anyone else want to say hi before
Hi,
we
Lynn.
say goodbye?
Hi, Lori.
Gracie,
Hi, Elise.
Gracie, you knocked it out of the park. You
Thank
did
you
such
so
a great
much.
job.
Thank you.
It's an honor to see like what a beautiful young lady you turned into from starting from when you were in my preschool class.
Thank you so much. Oh yeah, I wasn't crazy.
Great job, Gracie. We love you.
Love you too.
Oh, there's Joni. Where's Joni? She's at the bottom.
Yeah.
She's talking. She has to unmute.
Thank you,
Joni, you have to unmute, Joni.
Joni, hi. Unmute.
Okay, thank you everybody for coming.
Is that Janie?
Yeah, Janie.
Oh wait, I'm in.
Deputy official?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.